Hello. All right, first off, I'm sorry about the lighting. I know there's streaks on my face. I know it's not looking great, but the time of the day is just not working with me. Today, I'm going to be talking about the things that you need and don't need for college, dorm life, normal life, especially if you're a freshman or you're just starting college. This might be helpful for you. I know that whenever I was a freshman or going into college, I watched a bunch of these videos. So I figured that I should make one of my own. I've gone through 3 years of college and I have a good idea of what you need and don't need. Just for a little bit of context, I went to 2 schools. My freshman and sophomore year was in one school. My junior and senior year are going to be in another school. My first school shut down. So unfortunate situation. Make sure you choose a school that does not have the probability of shutting down, because it's not something that I recommend. But my freshman year, I lived in the dorms for only 1 semester. I was a commuter for the first semester. That semester, I only had 1 roommate, but I was living in a dorm that was the size for 3 people. So there was 3 beds. There was plenty of space, like not too much space. It was a good amount of space for 2 people. But I know most freshmen go into a dorm for only 2 people, and usually they're really small. So I personally never had to live in a really small dorm, which was it just worked out that way. It was not intentional. My sophomore year, I lived with 2 roommates in a suite that was meant for 4. So I had my own room, and then my roommates had their own room, and then we had an extra room. We technically weren't supposed to use the extra room. We did sometimes. And then we had a communal area, like a couch, a TV and stuff. We had a kitchenette, and then an ensuite full bathroom. And then my junior year, I'm currently living in an apartment through the school with my roommate who has their own room. Then I have my room, and we each have our own bathroom. We have a full-size kitchen and then a living area. So that's kind of a gist of what my situation has been for the past 3 years. Buying the necessities ahead of time is probably the way to go, because things are cheaper and there usually is more stock. Because whenever it's like the 2 to 3 weeks before college time, where like all the college stuff is out, there's 1, a lot of people shopping at once, and 2, there's a low stock because everyone is buying everything. So for the necessities like cleaning supplies and command strips and mattress stuff, I recommend getting that beforehand, just so that you can get it, 1, at a cheaper price, and 2, you can more easily get it. And then the second thing that I just overall recommend is to not pack an excessive amount of clothes. I know you're going to be packing and thinking, well, I might need this, I might need that for this event, I might need this for that event. You do not. You're not going to go do all these things all the time, because you're going to be busy. You're at school. A lot of people work at college. A lot of people just have a lot of work, like schoolwork to do. So you're not going to be going out and doing as much as you originally think that you are. I cannot speak for the people that are in like sororities and stuff. I think that's a completely different video that you will need to watch. I'm an art student, very average. I did not go out a lot. I did go out sometimes. Didn't go to any really big parties or anything like that. So I would recommend to pack at least maybe 2 outfits for a party type vibe, nicer, more like, party outfits, dress, or, a nicer shirt or whatever. And then I would also pack a dress or a nicer outfit for more formal attire if you go to those more formal events at school. Or if you're a business major, you better be packing formal clothes, because I have seen a bunch of business majors at my school and they wear nice stuff literally all the time, and I'm over here in my pajamas, practically. Not pajamas, but I'm in like sweats and stuff. So it is situational for some majors, and they'll let you know if there's a dress code and stuff. Now, getting into the don't needs. It's not a long list because it is situational for everyone. I'm just going to go based off of my experience. Starting off strong is the Brita. For me personally, I never really used my Brita, solely because it does not work fast enough for the amount of water that I drink. I bought the average size Brita and I put it in my little mini fridge because the big one wouldn't fit in my mini fridge. I personally hate tap water, so I know the Britas work fast whenever it comes to filtering, but I would have to let it sit for a while for me to feel like it was actually filtered properly. And then I also have to let it sit because I like cold water. With the amount of water that I drank, one average size Brita would fill up my large water bottle, and then I have to do the process over and over again. And I ended up just buying water bottles from like the corner store down the street. So I ended up not using my Brita. I still have it. I do not know why I still have it, because I just religiously buy water bottles at this point. I know that budget-wise, a lot of people can't afford buying water bottles every week, and that's understandable. Use a Brita. I'm just very picky. And also, I would say a good thing about, a fun little extra thing about having water bottles is that do not throw them away. Put them in a bag for recycling, and then find your local bottles and cans recycling place, especially if you have a car, which I did have a car. I've had a car all throughout college. If you take them to recycling place, you get money back. And I know it's technically the money that you already paid to get the water bottles, but it's nice to like get a little extra change every now and then, like a little extra $5 every 2 weeks to get a coffee or something. It's nice, and I do recommend getting it. Next thing is buying too many journals or folders and stuff. I just recommend buying like 2 journals and 1 folder to start off, and then figuring out what you need once you get to your classes. Freshman year, I bought an excessive amount of journals and folders, and I still have those journals to this day because I got the really, really big ones, and I just never use them because they're huge and they're heavy. And like I said, I'm an art major, and I have a lot of history classes, but those were way too big. I like little small, I've learned that I like little small journals, and I really only need like 2 a semester. A lot of my classes, although they're lectures, I didn't write down a whole lot because a lot of the times teachers put their PowerPoints on your like school board. So my personal favorite are the decomposition journals. They're like just the right size for me. I like the spiral ones so that you can like, flip it around. And also a lot of the times desks at the schools are very small. At least at my school, the desks are really tiny. So having your computer and a huge journal is just not it. Also, journals take up space. So I recommend starting off small and then figuring out what you need as time goes on. And having at least 1 folder is always nice because everything's pretty much digital. There's a lot of teachers that have gone paperless, but there's always that one teacher that likes to stay with paper. So it's nice to have 1 folder for those teachers. Next thing is having too many bowls and plates and kitchen stuff. Especially if you're living in the dorms. My situation has changed now since I'm in an apartment and I'm like making food at home, so I have a lot more plates and stuff now. But if you're living on campus and in the dorms without a kitchen, you definitely do not need 3 bowls and 3 plates and a bunch of silverware and stuff. It's a waste of space. You do not need it. I never used my plates and bowl. Thankfully, I only bought 1 bowl and 1 plate and a little personal silverware thing, but I never used them. I use the silverware thing occasionally. The bowls and plates, no. You just don't need that many. I recommend just buying 1 of each, and then you'll be set, especially if you live on campus and you have a meal plan, which you will have to have a meal plan. Next thing is having too many like throw pillows and stuff. I know they're cute and they make your room feel nice and whatever, but I recommend only getting like 1 because I had 1, it was a staple. I had like a couple in the beginning, and then I slowly got to only 1 because you're just going to throw them on the floor, and whenever you have to wake up for an early class, you're not going to want to make your bed all the time, and it's just not worth it. So I recommend just getting like 1, maybe 2. It's the same thing for like stuffed animals and throw blankets and stuff. You just don't want too many because especially if you're living in a small place, it gets really crowded really fast. Last, for the don't need that I can think of right now, are ice trays. You do not need ice. I thought that I wanted ice. I got ice for the Brita. Something about my mini fridge, I don't know if this is situational or if it was just my fridge, but my fridge would not freeze the ice properly, and I would always forget to just make the ice. Like, it's just an extra thing that you have to do. I have like 3 ice trays in my freezer right now that are not filled with ice. They're just in the freezer because I don't want to get rid of them, but I never use them. Okay, now we're moving on to the needs, which is a much longer list. One thing that everyone needs is a mattress cover. The mattresses that the school provides are like this thick, and other people sleep on them, and they're extremely uncomfortable. You're going to want to invest in a good mattress topper. I've had to get 2 because I went from having the twin XL, which is what most colleges have for their standard beds. Since then, I have changed to a full-size bed because I moved into an apartment. But a mattress topper is a complete necessity, and you're going to thank yourself in the future. I know some people use like the foam thing. If you're going to use like a foam pad, you gotta make sure that you have a way to connect it to your bed, because my roommate Heaven has a foam pad, and if you move around a lot in your sleep, it's going to move around a lot and you're gonna have to remake your bed a lot. So just keep that in mind. Next is having a bag / tote bag / backpack. My first 2 years, I lived on campus, and it was a very small school, so everything was really close together. So all I had to use was a tote bag. I would be able to come back, switch out my journals, leave for my next class with just the things that I need for that class, and yada, yada, yada. So having a tote bag, a smaller bag, was very good for a smaller school where you're close to your classes. But this past year, I found that I needed a backpack because I live off campus, and I go to like 3 classes a day, and I don't come back, so I have to stuff a lot more in my bag. So I got a cheap backpack from Target. It did break, so I had to use my non-existent sewing skills to fix it because I could not afford buying a new backpack. So if you're gonna get a backpack, I would probably invest in a decent one so that you don't have to deal with buying a new backpack later down the line. If you're living off campus, I recommend a backpack. If you're on campus, a tote bag is fine. Next is a water bottle. I have a large accumulation of water bottles, but the one that I found that was the most convenient is the Walla. It's nice because it's a good size. They do have different sizes, but the standard size is a good size for your classes just to sip on. It has a handle. They come in really cute colors. They're kind of aesthetic. They're very convenient, and they fit well within like backpacks and tote bags. They don't take up a bunch of space. I do not recommend buying a Stanley for classes because you're gonna have to carry around a bunch of stuff. You're carrying around your phone, your backpack. If you're an art major, you're gonna carry around your portfolio. You have a bunch of stuff that you're gonna carry around. Also, having to carry a water bottle, Stanley, is very inconvenient. And they also are not spill proof. So I do not recommend getting a Stanley solely for college. I use my Stanleys for other purposes. If I need a lot of water and I'm going to be in a place for a long time, not moving around, then I use my Stanley. But the Walla is a good one for if you're on the go, moving around a lot. Next is shower shoes. If you're living in a dorm, most of the time you're going to be in a communal bathroom, and communal bathrooms can be very disgusting. I was fortunate enough to have an entire communal bathroom to practically myself and then 2 other people. I was living on the top floor, and there was only 2 rooms that were filled. The rest of the hallway was empty, so we had a huge communal bathroom to ourselves. So it wasn't dirty, but I know that a lot of communal bathrooms are. So make sure you protect your feet and get some shower shoes. Crocs are a good one, especially like as long as they have holes in them, you'll be good. I also just kind of recommend getting Crocs in general. I didn't have Crocs freshman year, and then I asked for them for Christmas for my mom, and she bought me a pair because I was stubborn and didn't want to buy one for myself. And they're very nice, especially if you're just wanting to. I know some people don't like the way that they look, but just slipping them on and going to a 40-minute class, especially if you're on campus, can be very convenient. Next is having a good comforter. This is based on preference. I got my comforters my freshman year year, and sophomore year comforter was from TJ Maxx. My comforter now is from Amazon, but I recommend getting a comforter that is larger than your bed so that can hang over the side and cover the disaster that is underneath, because underneath your bed is going to be one of your main storage places. You're going to put bins, extra drawers and stuff under there, especially if you have a bed that's raised. And just having a larger comforter that hangs over the side to hide it to make your room cleaner can be very satisfying to the soul. Like I just kind of mentioned, having little extra plastic drawers that you can get from like Target or Walmart can be very convenient for many things. Having an extra set of drawers to hold things like underwear or your extra school supplies and stuff can always be helpful, just tucking it under your bed, because if you bring a lot of stuff, the school supplies wardrobes and drawers are going to be a lot smaller than you think, so having that extra storage is going to be key. A lot of the times school dressers, they are large, but the actual size of the drawers are very small and narrow. Next is having a shoe rack. I bought mine from Five Below. They sell little plastic shoe racks that you just kind of put together. They're not the best quality and they do easily break, but it's nice to have, just especially if you bring a lot of shoes. Instead of having a bunch of shoes just kind of all over your place, having them kind of stacked on top of each other in more of a unified and controlled area can also be very satisfying. You're going to want to have extra lighting like lamps or fairy lights, because 9 times out of 10 the lighting that comes to the room, like the ceiling lighting, is actually horrendous, or they come with like a little hum, and I don't know about you, but that hum, it kills me. So I am a not an above light person. I need the little lamps and stuff. Sometimes the above headlights are like way too bright, and if you're working during the night, having that little side lamp can be very helpful. Next is having a decent shower caddy. You may not want to get one at first. I hated my shower caddy. I got one of the little mesh fabric ones because I thought it was cuter. I hated that thing. It was very floppy, and if you have big conditioners and shampoos and stuff, it's not the best thing in the world. I personally recommend getting like the bigger plastic ones. The bigger the better, especially if you have like multiple steps in your shower routine. Like you have your face wash, your conditioner, shampoo, body wash, all those things. I do recommend getting the bigger, more bulkier stuff so you don't have to keep on buying your shampoo and conditioner. So having a larger shower caddy is probably the best, even if it's ugly. Next is having a fan. You're going to want a fan. I have my little fan. I got it from Target. It works very well. I'm the type of person that needs to have white noise whenever I sleep. Dorm rooms do not come with fans. Their air conditioning can be pretty bad most of the time. So if you need that little extra noise, if you need that extra breeze, I definitely recommend getting a fan. In the same breath, the heating situation can be bad as well if you're living in a dorm and you don't have control over your AC and heating. So if you're living in a cold place and it's going to get really cold, your room is going to be freezing. So I recommend getting a heating pad. Also, it's also helpful whenever you're on your menstrual cycle. I love my heating pad. It is like my best friend. I use that thing all of the time, and I have been for years. So that definitely helps whenever it's pretty cold. And also having an extra good quality blanket for the extra layers can also help. Just don't buy in excess. Next, this is kind of like, it's not necessarily a necessity, but having an extra bath towel, a cheap extra bath towel, is always nice, especially if you go through the phase of wanting to try to dye your own hair, or you're doing crafts and stuff and you need to protect the carpet. Buying a larger extra towel for those extra things can be very helpful. I have trashed I have a towel for things like that I can get bleach on it, get hair dye on it. I lay it on the ground if I'm doing other things. It can really come in handy, just having that extra protection. Next is having a laundry bag that you can kind of like wear, that has like the backpacks or like a strap or something, because you're gonna have to walk from your dorm to the communal laundry area, which just be prepared for the communal laundry situations. They're not fun. It sucks. And having to lug around a huge basket is not something that I recommend. So having like a bag is the best. I got mine at Target. It also kind of helps you, like, because they can be smaller, so you don't kind of fit as much in there. So it can help you not have to wash a bunch of stuff at once. Be prepared to not be able to wash your clothes when you want. Next is having, like, if you're like me and you're obsessed with yourself, I'm just kidding. If you care about how you look and you're always doing your makeup or checking your hair or whatever, having a little mirror for your desk is going to be very nice. Most of the time, dorm rooms have a built-in full-length mirror, but if you're wanting to do your makeup in your dorm and not go to the communal bathroom, getting a little desk mirror will be very convenient for those purposes, because either way, if you don't get one, you're gonna be sharing it with someone else, like your roommate or the communal bathroom. And on top of that, having like a little trash can next to your desk is very helpful. Now I have multiple trash cans. I have a bathroom trash can, I have a trash can next to my desk, and I have a trash can in the kitchen. But having a little trash can, a little personal trash can for under your desk is helpful for whenever you're doing crafts or you're writing essays and stuff. It can just be helpful, especially if you like little things for like band-aids and things, just throwing it away there instead of having to use a big trash can. And having a big trash can in your little dorm room is not a good idea because it'll take up a lot of space. An extra thing that you might not think that you'll need is an umbrella. I don't use it all the time, but when it has come in clutch multiple times. An umbrella, I keep it in my car, but if you're living on campus, having a little umbrella with you can be very helpful, especially if you're living in places where it rains or snows all the time and you don't want to mess up your hair. Having an umbrella can be nice. So maybe invest in a little umbrella. And then last couple of things that you don't think about needing, but you're definitely going to need is medicine. You're going to need cold medicine, whether you believe in yourself or not. You're going to get sick. Every fall semester, I get ill. Without fail, I always get so sick for some reason, and I go through a lot of daytime and nighttime cold medicine. You're also really gonna need allergy medicine for the spring, and having Advil or Tylenol that's gonna be your best friend. You're definitely going to need Advil or Tylenol. And you're gonna thank me later, because I promise you're going to be ill and it's not gonna be fun. On top of that, you're going to want a first aid kit because things happen. People are gonna cut their fingers, people are gonna burn themselves, and most of the time colleges have like a nurse medic area, but for those little scratches and stuff, having little band-aids, it can be very helpful. And then, you're also going to want a thermometer. At least make sure that one of your roommates, you or your roommate or whatever, has a thermometer, because that can also be very helpful to figure out if you're sick, like actually sick or not. If you need to go to the doctor, having that thermometer will help you determine that. I've had to use it like 2 or 3 times. The things that I would say to buy in excess is pens and pencils, tape. Always have a pair of scissors, and then having a little stapler can also be very convenient. Most of the time, libraries and places where you can print out stuff at school has a stapler that you can use, but having a little on-hand stapler whenever you need it in like a hurry can be very nice. And then you're gonna need scissors, you're gonna need pens, you're gonna need tape, and you're going to lose them all. So be prepared for that. Having this sounds kind of silly, but especially if you're living in like a suite or a place where you're able to get more stuff, like if you have a kitchenette or you're living in an apartment, having a screwdriver or a little hammer or a little wrench or all of the above can be very helpful, and you're gonna need them occasionally. My mom bought me a little kit for a screwdriver, and I've used it a lot actually. I use it at least once a month for different things. And then finally, another thing that you want to buy in excess is command strips / hooks. Most colleges do not let you put like thumbtack stuff into your walls, and tape usually doesn't work. Some walls take tape well, but most walls don't. So command strips, command hooks are going to be your friend if you like to decorate. And I do recommend decorating because it makes it feel more homey. So command strips, they can be expensive, but buying them in bulk, you're gonna thank yourself later. So that was a lot, but I hope this has helped you for your upcoming school year. It's a very exciting time. It's going to be a lot, but it's also going to be fun. I wish you the best, and let me know if this has helped you or not, or if you want more videos like this. I'll see you guys later. Bye, y'all.